It's cooking. Let me see if I can show you what's cooking. Hold on. Now, how about that? Those are onions that I put in there first to season the olive oil. And that is I think it's a round steak. Top sirloin or something. But it looks tough to me. So I have decided to saute it. And I'm going to I put salt. I've already put the salt on. And I put pepper on. And look. Oh, here's a little hint. I colored in the spots. I bought this big thing of, and I colored all this in so I wouldn't open the wrong side. I've done that way too many times. And I always use a little paprika. I did this to the other side of this roast just to get started. I always use paprika and cumin. I like to smoke paprika, but if you've ever smelled cumin cooking in the grease with, man, it just gives your, and I always get a little bit on the pan and on the onions too. Okay, now I have this flour. This is my whole berry flour that I ground, and I'm just going to sprinkle a little bit on here. I'm going to pat it down a little bit so that it doesn't fall off when I turn it over. Now I gotta wash my hands because I touched the meat. Okay. Now here's the real, now I gotta turn it over, and then I'm going to tell you, I'm going to teach you something I've never told you before. Maybe I'm not the only one that's ever done this, but hold on, let me turn this baby over. Oh boy, it's too heavy for me. Hold on. It's awkward. And I don't want to poke a hole with it. Oh, boy. Okay, there we go. Okay. I'm just trying to brown it on both sides. Brown it real good. That seals the juices in. Okay. Now, this is going to brown on this side. And while it's browning, I'm going to explain to you what I'm going to do. I have these gold potatoes. Have you ever used gold potatoes before? If you haven't used gold potatoes, you need to try them. Because gold potatoes, they're just easier to cook. They're softer. And they have so much flavor. Now, there's absolutely nothing wrong with russet potatoes. Oh, wait a minute. You can't. Yeah, you can see what I'm doing. Russet potatoes are getting a bad rap for being, there's nothing wrong with them, unless there's a particular crop that McDonald's uses that raises bad russet potatoes. What I'm going to do with these, but these are gold potatoes. I'm just going to set these gold potatoes right on top of that steak. I washed them off. I'm just, you want to dig out these roots that are trying to grow, because they could be poisonous. Oh, did you know that? Did you know that those potato roots that like to grow on potatoes, that they could be poisonous? Well, they can be. All right, there goes another one. Okay, I'm putting those up there. They're going to actually bake in the Instapot while I'm pressure cooking. Now I'm going to put more potatoes in there. I'm going to cut up little potatoes, but I'm going to eat these potatoes. My husband and I have these as baked potatoes, and I'm going to cut up some. And look, I'm going to cut up a russet potato and these gold potatoes. Not now. I've got to pressure cook these first, but I am going to dump the onions and the garlic, which I had already cut up. Okay, here we go. Good, it's all sitting right there. Now I'm just going to add just enough beef broth. Oh, I never can remember the name of these particular containers. But I'm so glad they're not using cans or glass. I'm just going to pour it on top of here to moisten everything. I'm just going to just up to the top, not even quite to the top of the roast. I might put this whole thing in here. If I can get it out, come on. Okay, that's enough. I'll save the rest for later to make some soup out of, or I might even just heat it up and drink it. You know, sometimes if you're just wanting a healthy snack, you can just heat up some beef broth and add salt and pepper, and it's really good. Okay, see that? All right, now I'm going to, and it says high pressure, so now I have to get the lid. I have a big kitchen, but the counter space in my kitchen is so small, and I know it looks cluttered, but sometimes when I cook, now I gotta figure out how to put this on. Watch me struggle with this. Okay, you have to line it up. Oh. Okay, so once we know where the front of the pot is, we place this right here, turn it, and then you just walk away and leave it until it goes off. Now, if you want it to stay warm, which I do until you get back, but I'm just going to set my timer for 45 minutes and we'll be back and I'll let you see what it looks like. Hallelujah. There's two ways I know of how to do this, and one of them is with a, you can melt butter. You can melt butter in here and then add your flour, and then that will make it thicken. Then you add the beef broth. I have never made it any other way than that. And I wanted to try this. I don't need the margarine. I don't need the butter because I've got enough fat in the meat. I just want to thicken it with this flour. And my question is, why do I have to have butter? So, you know, if this doesn't work, I won't be publishing this. But it seems to me that I could just add enough, slowly enough, and since this one's run slow anyway, just add just enough of this beef broth to thicken this without making lumps. Well, that is the thing that I'm running in danger of, is lumps. Of course, now this being whole milled, fresh milled flour, it looks grainy, but that's the healthy part. Okay, so now you see what I've done? I've just added enough flour and broth together, and now I'm going to turn my fire on, not too high, just enough, and while that's heating up, I'll be adding some salt and pepper out of my little thing that you'll have to watch my other video to find out why I did this. But it works. Okay, now I'm just letting this heat up. I'm squeezed in between these two things because I want to use this burner, and I want to be on this side of the camera. So I'm heating this up, come on. And as it heats, it starts getting thick. Okay? And just add a little as you go. You don't want it to, you don't want it too thin, because you want to use this, add this to your pan to thicken the rest of the broth. Now, I don't know if this is going to be enough. If it's not enough, whoops, I'm not getting around to all the edges. I've got to turn my fire down now that I'm up. Okay, now I've got my fire just down on a simmer, and I've got to start adding this beef broth a lot faster because everything heated up all at once. Okay, and gotta get the lumps out. Those lumps will melt away when it gets hot enough. There's another tool that I should have used, but it's in a drawer I can't open right now. It's a long story. You don't want to know. But be that as it may, I can't get my whisk out, which is what you really need to make gravy with. Okay, well, that was a nice big mess. All right, well, what I'm waiting for is the pressure cooker to finish. Now, well, hold on, I'm almost finished with this. This looks like it's, okay. I'm going to add a little, because I'm going to season the stew with this, I'm going to add a little, oh, that might have been a little bit too much. And I'm going to thin it out a little bit more with a little Liam Perrins. Not too much, that's really strong stuff. Here we go. Still got my heat on under it. I'm going to mesh that in there. See, this is going to be just like a thickening sauce. I'm going to flavor and thicken all at the same time. Huh. Won't that be something? Plus, it's making it look better. I didn't like that look of that. Light brown. Well, it's still getting thick. I'm going to make it, there's just a, you want it to be thicker than if you were going to make gravy, because you want to add this and thicken the whole pot. So I'm going to let that just sit there. I'm going to turn the heat off. I'm going to let it sit there, because when it finishes cooking inside the pressure cooker, it's going to thicken even more. So I'll show you what preparations I've made over here. I have these whole carrots. I'm leaving them whole because I'm going to put them back in the pressure cooker and cook. I'm going to finish cooking the roast. So I've got these, and I've got the celery. Now what I need to do, I didn't want to cut the potatoes up. I have gold potatoes and russet. I hope you can hear me above that. I'm going to cut these potatoes big. Now, inside there are 2 whole potatoes that I'm going to bake, that I have baked. So I'm anxious to see what that's going to look like. Stay with me now. I'm going to show you what those baked potatoes look like, having been cooked in the Instapot, right? Right. Okay, it's almost done. Does anybody else remember pressure cookers when you were a child? The kind that sit on the stove? Okay, there's not very many potatoes, but like I said, I already have 2 potatoes in there, which I'm probably going to eat today and save these for another day. Okay, let's see if we, oh, I have to cut this one up too. Hold on, as soon as I cut this potato up, aren't you glad you didn't have to wait for me to cut? Ooh. Let's get rid of that. I think I'm going to leave this kind of, should I cut, yeah, I'll cut it this way. Okay. Now let me see if I can get this off safely. I'll bring you up a little bit, so I won't damage my camera. Okay. Now, there we go. Woohoo! There you are, folks. There you have it, guys. Look at that. See? The potato broke apart. That might be a little bit more done than I want it. Let me look at this baby here. Hold on, let me move you over here. Yeah, it broke it apart. Look at that yellow goodness. Wow. Oh, I should get something to put that in. I'm not going to exactly be able to hold it in my hand. Woohoo! Wee doggies. I love it. Here we go. This one didn't. You know that is going to be some baked potato. You're not even going to have to put any toppings on that. I mean, you won't have to, won't have to salt and pepper it, but yeah, you might want to put some sour cream on that and a little butter if you were on a diet. Sour cream is not fattening, folks, so don't think it is. Here we go. There's my roast, and look, it looks like it's going to fall apart too. Let me go. I'm just going to lay it right on top of those potatoes. Here we go. Now, I don't think I need to add the, I'm going to turn this back onto saute so I can keep it warm and add in my I'm just going to see if this is too thick to melt in there. No, I think it's going to work. I really do. Here. Okay. I didn't taste this because I intended it to be too intense to be good. There's more pieces of potatoes in there. I'm going to stir this until it thickens because I don't want to put it back to cook some more and let it stick to the bottom. So I have to, it says it's on, but it doesn't say it's hot. See the potato pieces and onion? Oh yeah, I put there was a whole onion in here and a garlic clove. See the onion? But I'm glad to report that there aren't any flour lumps, no thickening lumps. So that worked out just right. Well, I guess it'll thicken some more. I'm going to put my potatoes in. And I probably should have put the carrots in first. Let me put in these carrots. I'm going to pressure cook this again. And it's going to come out just lovely. Okay. Correctly this time. Oh, correctly this time. There we go. And I'm going to cancel it and make it okay. Well, basically, you know what that's going to. I'm not going to bring you back for what it's going to look like. It's going to look like cooked carrots and celery, and here's the meat. It was so tender, I didn't want to put it back in there. So there you go. That's my husband and I will probably have some meat and potatoes while we wait for the carrots, and because it's late. we're 2 hours past lunchtime. I love you. Try to like and subscribe. It helps me a lot, encourages me as well. Leave a comment, and remember to keep the commandments. and be the bride and bring somebody with you to the wedding feast. I love you.